Our story begins with the protagonist waking up in the body of a total loser of a noble named Liam. At first, he's completely freaked out. After all, just yesterday, he was living his normal life, and now he's stuck in a kid's body. His father scolds him for causing a scene, but doesn't make too much of a fuss since he's in a good mood today. He simply tells Liam to sit down and not embarrass himself further. Liam keeps thinking that this must be a dream, and any moment now, he'll wake up in his real body. But when he wakes up the next morning, he realizes he's still Liam Hamilton. There's no escaping it. This is his life now. A little while later, his personal maid enters his room to help him get dressed. He takes the opportunity to ask her some questions and learns that he's the fifth son of a noble family. Apparently, the party yesterday was to celebrate the birth of his new baby sister. Later that day, Liam talks with his older brother, Bruno, hoping to piece together more about his new life. Bruno, the fourth son of the Hamilton family, tells him that their noble status is in serious danger. There's a rule that says every noble family must achieve something great within 3 generations, or they lose their title and become commoners. Unfortunately, the Hamilton family is now in its 3rd generation without any major accomplishments. This means their father and eldest brother, Albert, are desperate to find a way to maintain their noble status. Bruno, however, couldn't care less. Whether they stay nobles or become commoners, it doesn't make a difference to him. He's just a chill guy who goes with the flow. Liam is surprised by how relaxed Bruno is about the whole situation. But honestly, he doesn't really care either. He literally just got here, and he has no idea what he even wants to do with his life. Just then, their tutor arrives and announces that they will begin their magic lecture soon. The moment Liam hears the word magic, he jumps out his chair in excitement. Bruno is a little surprised by Liam's reaction and tells him that there are a bunch of grimoires, magic books, in the family storeroom if he wants to take a look. However, Bruno also warns him not to get his hopes up. Most people don't have the ability to use magic. Even so, the magic instructor encourages Liam to study magic, explaining that understanding it is valuable even if he can't use it. Determined to find out more, Liam asks his maid to take him to the library, where the grimoires are kept. When they arrive, he is amazed by the sheer amount of knowledge packed into shelves. He picks up a book on basic fire magic, opens it, and decides to give it a try. Following the book's instructions, Liam successfully creates a small flame at the tip of his finger. This is a huge deal. Most people struggle with magic, but Liam manages on his first attempt. Excited by his progress, Liam goes to his father's office to ask for permission to use the grimoire library for further study. His father, who normally can't stand talking to him, dismissively grants him permission without a second thought. While his father's cold attitude is a little discouraging, Liam is more focused on the fact that he can now freely access the library. Over the next few days, he dedicates himself to mastering all the basic elemental spells. Before long, Liam becomes skilled enough to cast magic without even needing to check the grimoire. When Bruno sees this, he is shocked. He himself has never been able to use magic. He praises Liam's abilities, telling him that if he keeps this up, he'll soon be able to make a name for himself. However, Bruno is also curious about Liam's motivations. He asks if Liam is training so hard because he wants to become the next family head. If that's the case, it might put him in conflict with their eldest brother. But Liam quickly shuts that down. He has no interest in family politics. He just thinks magic is cool. Having mastered all the beginner-level spells, Liam decides to move on to ice magic. However, before he can start, he gets summoned by his father. It turns out that word of Liam's magical talent has reached him. Just days ago, his father couldn't care less about him, but now he suddenly seems very interested. He demands a magic demonstration, so Liam shows off his ability to cast spells without opening a grimoire. His father is ecstatic. This could be their family's chance to secure their noble status. For the first time, he acknowledges Liam as someone valuable. He tells Liam that from now on, he is free to use any resources he needs to improve his magic. Just as Liam is about to leave, a soldier bursts into the room with an urgent report. A certain man has been spotted within Hamilton territory. The Count immediately orders the soldiers to mobilize and capture him. From the way everyone is reacting, this person must be a serious threat. But as far as Liam is concerned, that has nothing to do with him. He simply heads back into the forest to continue practicing his magic, determined to become even stronger. As Liam walks deeper into the woods, he notices a man sitting under a tree. The man looks a little on edge, and when he spots Liam, he immediately asks if Liam is part of the Hamilton family, and if he's here to capture him. Liam casually confirms that he is indeed a member of the Hamilton family, but he has no interest in capturing anyone. In fact, he has no idea who this guy even is. The man looks relieved and relaxes a little, But then he notices that Liam is carrying a grimoire. Curious, he asks if Liam is studying magic. Liam nods, explaining that since practice is the best way to improve, he was just about to go train. However, before Liam can leave, the man suddenly asks if he wants to learn a more efficient way to use magic. This immediately grabs Liam's attention. He stops and asks the man what he means. In response, the man demonstrates a technique that allows him to use 5 different types of magic at once. Liam is absolutely blown away. He has never seen anything like this before. Seeing Liam's excitement, the man offers to give him a quick magic lesson. Liam eagerly agrees. The man seems a little surprised by how polite Liam is. Most nobles have a reputation for being arrogant and full of themselves. But Liam is different, mostly because he only recently reincarnated into this world. The first lesson begins with the man asking Liam to try drawing 2 different diagrams on the ground at the same time. Liam does as he's told, and to the man's surprise, he does it pretty well. Since he handled that so easily, the next step should be a bit harder. The man then instructs Liam to cast 2 different spells at the same time. Liam thinks for a moment and decides to try using Flame Cutter in his right hand and Fireball in his left. He visualizes the spells and gives a shot. To both of their amazement, he successfully casts them simultaneously on his first attempt. The man is stunned. This technique is extremely difficult, and yet Liam pulled it off as if it were nothing. Encouraged by his success, the man tells Liam to try using 3 spells at once. Liam concentrates and gives a shot. At first, it seems to be working, but then his magic suddenly fizzles out. Liam is disappointed, but the man assures him that he actually performed the technique correctly. The only reason the spell failed was that Liam simply doesn't have enough magic power in his body yet to sustain casting 3 spells at once. Simultaneous casting consumes an insane amount of magic, so Liam needs to learn better control before he can maintain it. To help him understand the concept better, the man tells Liam to sit down while he draws a diagram in the dirt. He explains that this technique works based on prime numbers. For some unknown reason, multi-spell casting only works with prime numbers. For example, a person can cast 1, 2, or 3 spells at the same time, but if they try to cast 4 at once, it won't work no matter what. The man himself has mastered up to 13 spells at once, which is incredibly impressive. However, even though his magic power is high enough to go up to 16 spells, the prime number rule prevents him from advancing any further until he can reach 17. Liam is only 12 years old, so the man is confident that with proper training, he can reach incredible heights in magic. To help him get stronger, the man offers Liam a special ring. The ring Liam received is basically a massive grimoire, packed with hundreds of spells he can learn whenever he wants. Excited, he slips the ring onto his finger. Immediately, over 300 spells start flowing into his mind. Overwhelmed but thrilled, he wants to try one out right away. He turns toward the woods and activates a wind spell called Wind Shoot. A powerful gust of wind bursts forward, shaking the trees. He grins, happy with the result. But when he turns around to thank the man who gave him the ring, the guy is nowhere to be found. Just then, Liam's maid shows up. She scolds him, warning that it's dangerous to be out in the woods alone right now. Apparently, there's a suspicious man on the loose, and she tells Liam to be careful when talking to strangers. But that aside, she was sent to deliver something. His father wants him to have a new grimoire. She hands him the book and walks off, returning to the mansion. As soon as she leaves, the mysterious man suddenly reappears behind Liam. Liam, startled, asks where he went. The man casually replies that he never left. He was just using invisibility magic to stay hidden since he can't afford to be seen. But enough about that. He points to the grimoire Liam just received and says it's actually pretty interesting. Then, he offers to show Liam a neat trick. He instructs Liam to open the grimoire and tries summoning a spirit while wearing the ring. Curious, Liam follows the instructions and summons a fire spirit, but instead of floating around, the spirit gets absorbed into the ring. The man explains that by doing this, Liam can store elemental spirits and call on their power whenever he needs them. Excited, Liam repeats the process with all the elemental spirits in the grimoire. By the time he finishes, he looks up, only to find that the man has disappeared again. But this time, he won't be coming back. Before leaving, the man left a message in the dirt. Keep training your magic, and you will surely become a great mage in the future. Also, don't snitch on me. If anyone asks, I was never here. Liam doesn't know much about the man, but one thing is clear. He learned more in this one afternoon than he ever would have on his own. He will always respect him as his master. A month passes and Liam continues his magic training, making remarkable progress. One day, his brother Bruno visits and is astounded to find that Liam has created white charcoal all by himself. White charcoal is known for burning hotter and cleaner than regular charcoal, but it's typically difficult to produce without special equipment. Yet, Liam has managed it using just his magic. Bruno also notices a bag full of liquor crystals, which are used to restore magic power. He asks if Liam made these too. Liam nods, explaining it was challenging at first, but he mastered the technique by combining 5 different types of magic. Impressed, Bruno feels reassured that Liam will manage fine on his own, especially since Bruno won't be around much longer. He's getting married and moving away. He's chosen a low-ranking noble family that offers more freedom than the prestigious but restrictive Hamilton family. While Liam is shocked by the news, he wishes his brother well. Before leaving, Bruno shares a troubling secret. Their father had always hoped for a daughter to marry into the royal family to secure the Hamiltons' noble status. Disappointed with Liam's birth, he attempted to achieve greatness by sending 1,000 soldiers to kill a monster in the forest. The mission disastrously failed, with most men lost. Now, their father is desperate to salvage the family status. Taking Bruno's advice to heart, Liam decides to seek independence by capitalizing on his magical skills. He starts by selling his white charcoal, which turns into a profitable venture due to its unique qualities. However, aiming for more sustainable income, Liam stumbles upon another innovative idea during a visit to a noodle shop. Enjoying a bowl of delicious ramen, Liam realizes the noodles, made fresh daily, don't last long. This inspires him to create a shelf-stable version. After some experimentation, he uses his magic to cook and dehydrate noodles, turning them into an instant meal. Just add hot water. Confident in his new product, Liam rushes to the merchant guild to sell it, but he hits a roadblock. The merchant refuses to distribute his noodles without permission from his father or eldest brother, Albert, due to his status as the 5th son. Unbeknownst to Liam, Albert, envious of his younger brother's potential success, instructed the merchant to deny the request. Frustrated but undeterred, Liam decides if he can't sell his product in Hamilton territory, he'll go elsewhere. He packs several batches of his instant noodles into a magical item box created with the ring. Then, attempting to cast a summoning spell to transport himself, he accidentally creates a perfect clone instead. Adaptive, Liam sends a clone to a neighboring land to sell the noodles. Days later, the clone sends Liam a message. The noodles are a hit and sales are booming. This success brings Liam closer to his goal of independence, proving that even in the face of family opposition, his ingenuity and magic can carve a path to his own future. Story continue. Liam, who usually sells goods, spends his free time practicing magic, spells using a magical clone. He's recently mastered the magic missile spell and is quite proud of it. One day, while practicing, he hears someone approaching. Quickly, he makes his clone disappear and goes to see who it is. It turns out to be Albrecht, who asks Liam about his future aspirations. Albrecht is worried Liam might challenge his position as the family successor, but Liam isn't interested in family power struggles. He tells Albrecht he wants to be independent. Feeling relieved, Albrecht decides to support Liam's independence by recommending him to the Hunters Guild. That very day, Liam visits the guild. As he walks in, all the hunters stare at him, doubting a young boy like him belongs there. Liam approaches the front desk where he meets the guild master, who has heard good things about him from Albrecht. Still, the guild master needs to test Liam's skills. He asks Liam to cast a spell at him, using any magic word he knows. Liam, unfamiliar with formal magic words, just uses the spell as best he can. The spell is so powerful, it almost harms the guild master, who luckily dodges in time. Impressed and a bit shaken, the guild master grants Liam a B rank. Now officially ranked, Liam is ready for his first mission. Before he can leave, a girl named Asuna approaches him. She's impressed by Liam's magic and suggests they team up. Liam agrees, and Asuna excitedly leads him on their first adventure together. However, Liam realizes they don't actually have a mission yet. Asuna explains that only higher-ranked parties get specific missions. Lower ranks need to prove themselves by hunting dangerous monsters. Soon after, Liam and Asuna encounter a wolf monster. To their surprise, it's not just one wolf, but a whole pack. Asuna worries they might be in over their heads, but Liam is confident. He plans a strategy where he uses earth spirits to distract the wolves. He tells Asuna to take them down once he's drawn their attention. The plan works, and the wolves focus on the earth spirits, giving Asuna and Liam a chance to strike. With Liam's quick thinking and Asuna's help, What looked like a dangerous situation turns into an opportunity for them to prove their abilities. Together, they handle the challenge, proving that even as new members of the guild, they are capable and ready for whatever comes their way. Liam instructs the earth spirits, or gnomes, to grow larger, so their jaws clamp onto the wolves and hold them still. Now that the wolves cannot move, Asuna steps in and cuts each of them down with her sword. By the time they are done, they have defeated a total of 42 wolves. Feeling satisfied with their efforts, Liam and Asuna bring the wolf carcasses to the guildmaster, who is both surprised and impressed. He praises their success and says he has an important mission for them. According to the guildmaster, an armored caterpillar had been blocking a nearby path. This would be troublesome enough. But now there is a big problem. A very important person will soon visit their town, and nobody wants to risk letting that person get hurt. Liam and Asuna listen carefully, aware that if they fail, it could bring disaster to everyone. Determined to handle the job, they set out immediately. Locating the caterpillar is easy, but defeating it is not. No matter what Asuna does with her sword, or what spells Liam casts, none of their attacks can pierce the creature's tough armor. They become frustrated, realizing they might be stuck in a fight they cannot win. While they take a break, Asuna makes a joke, saying maybe the only thing that could break through the caterpillar's shell is a falling meteor. Liam thinks about her words and suddenly gets an idea. He tells Asuna to distract the monster, although he does not explain exactly why. Trusting him, Asuna draws its attention, allowing him to reach into his item box. With perfect timing, Liam drops a massive boulder on top of the armored caterpillar. The impact is so great that it crushes the caterpillar in one blow. To their surprise, Liam detects a second caterpillar lurking nearby. Thanks to his search spell, he quickly finds it and finishes it off the same way. Back at the guild master is thrilled by their resourcefulness and rewards them with 5 times the payment he had originally promised. Liam and Asuna feel proud of themselves, and the townspeople are relieved that the path is finally safe. A few days later, many people from the town gather outside to welcome the important person who was mentioned before. Liam's father and his older brother, Albrecht, are present to give a proper greeting. To everyone's surprise, this visitor, James Stanley, shows a sudden interest in Liam. After a moment of confusion, James calls Liam to a private meeting. When Liam arrives, James wastes no time asking him about a ring in Liam's possession. He believes Liam may have stolen it from someone named Raymond. Liam is shocked and immediately stands up to defend himself, insisting he would never do such a thing to his own teacher. He explains how he met Raymond in the forest and received the ring directly from him. Hearing this story, James laughs and says it sounds exactly like something Raymond would do. He apologizes to Liam for making a false accusation, saying he did not realize Raymond had taken on a student. However, since James is already there, he wants to see how strong the student might be. He calls on his assistant, Simone, to stand in the corner and asks Liam to cast his strongest spell at him. Although Liam agrees, he decides he wants to demonstrate his full power. He has recently learned an incantation that amplifies the spell's strength, but it only works if the words in the chant matter a lot to the caster. Liam begins to chant the names of figures he admires, and the effect is tremendous. Normally, he fires a single magic missile, but this time, 11 missiles appear all at once. The sudden onslaught smashes through Simone's shield spell and sends him reeling. James Stanley observes this display with great interest. He is impressed that Liam can produce so many attacks at the same time. He rewards Liam generously and announces that Liam will receive the status of a knight. Becoming a knight means Liam is now considered independent, which should calm Albrecht's worries about Liam challenging him in family politics. Having secured his own freedom, Liam can now follow his own path, knowing that he has proven his strength and earned respect from both the guild and James Stanley. James knows Raymond well and is aware of his love for practical jokes, so he asks Liam if anything odd happened recently. Liam recalls that while training to master his item box, he drained the forest lake and discovered a letter from Raymond. In it, Raymond explained that he wanted to give Liam 100 kilograms of gold as a graduation present, but the gold sank to the bottom of the lake. Instead, he turned it into gold dust and scattered it into the river. Liam thinks that was a waste of gold, but James suspects there is more to Raymond's prank. Following James's advice, Liam returns to the lake and drains it again. But this time he uses the item box to filter out the gold dust from the water. This action triggers a hidden door, and inside, Liam finds another note from Raymond. It says that because Liam solved the riddle, he can have a maximum level grimoire as his true graduation gift. Raymond himself was never able to learn it, but he believes Liam might succeed. Curious, Liam opens a grimoire and discovers a spell called Another World. After hours of practice, he finally manages to cast it. This spell creates a separate dimension over which Liam has complete control, including who can enter or leave. Excited by the possibilities, Liam rushes out on another hunting trip with Asuna. They face a huge frog monster this time, and Liam tries attacking it with fire spirits. Unfortunately, his magic alone is not enough to defeat it. The frog then begins charging its ultimate attack. Moments before they get zapped, Liam pulls Asuna into his private dimension, safely avoiding the frog's electricity. When the frog has used up all its energy, they finish it off for good. Later, they return to the guild with the frog's magic stone. The guild master is stunned that they completed an A-rank quest so easily, expecting them to struggle more. However, Asuna grows annoyed at the guild master because he keeps praising only Liam, forgetting that she also fought. The guild master apologizes, admitting that since Liam did most of the work, he focused all his attention on him. Asuna feels discouraged by how much weaker she is than Liam. The guild master suggests that Liam make Asuna his slave, which would force her to obey his commands. Neither Liam nor Asuna likes the idea at first. However, the guild master adds that, as Liam's familiar, Asuna's power would automatically rise along with Liam's. When Asuna hears this, she quickly agrees. She trusts Liam not to misuse his authority, and she would not mind too much even if he did. They create the contract, and as soon as it is complete, Asuna disappears. Everyone is alarmed, but a moment later she reappears behind Liam, saying she simply moved very fast. Right after the contract was established, Asuna heard a voice announcing she had gained a unique skill called Speedster. Liam is astonished and becomes curious about whether other people could also gain unique abilities by becoming his familiars. Yet, the idea of forcing someone to lose their freedom for a skill is complicated. Fortunately, Asuna knows someone who might be interested. Her friend, Jody. They meet Jody, explain the situation, and she decides to go through with the familiar contract. Once it is done, they wait to see what new ability Jody might have gained. Instead of explaining, Jody leaves the guild, returns with 2 sandwiches, and gives one to a man with an injured hand. As soon as he eats it, his hand is healed. Jody reveals her unique skill allows her to heal people through the food she prepares. Several days later, Liam meets with James, who informs him that Princess Scarlet is coming to visit. Liam cannot figure out why royalty would travel just to see him. James reminds him that Liam completed an A-rank quest, can cast 11 spells at once, and is able to grant people unique skills by forming master-slave contracts. The princess wants to watch Liam's slaves demonstrate their powers. However, Liam refuses to treat Asuna or Jody like performers, even if the request comes from the queen. Once Liam leaves, the maid who had been serving them steps forward, revealing herself to be the princess in disguise. James apologizes for Liam's reaction, but the princess actually finds Liam's refusal fascinating. She wants to see if he will stand by his friend so firmly when he meets her face to face. The next day, Liam is called to meet Princess Scarlet, but this time, she isn't in disguise. He knows he has to be careful with how he speaks to her. Liam enters her palace and kneels before her, but Scarlet doesn't want to waste time on formalities. She orders a chair to be brought for Liam and mentions she's heard about him defeating an armored caterpillar and a giant frog. She's especially impressed by how he killed the frog without using high-level magic, as it's the first time anyone has managed to do that. However, Scarlet is even more interested in Liam's familiars. She asks him to show her what they can do. Liam realizes that she's trying to use her authority to make him obey, but he doesn't want to comply. He firmly tells her that he refuses to turn his familiars into a show. Scarlet is surprised and asks if he really plans to refuse a direct request from a noble. Liam doesn't change his answer, even though he's prepared for her anger. To his surprise, Scarlet laughs. She finds it amusing that Liam is the first person she's met who stands by his morals, even when faced with authority. She decides to reward him for this. She announces that from now on, Liam will hold the title of Baron. Liam is shocked. He doesn't think he did anything to deserve such a title, but Scarlet is a princess, and she can do whatever she wants. With this, Liam's family will lose their noble status. But Scarlet still has something else to give him. She hands him a familiar contract grimoire. Liam is much more excited about this than the title of Baron, so he thanks her a lot. He leaves the palace, eager to practice with his new grimoire. A little later, Liam is sitting in the forest, reading the grimoire, and he can use the spells inside with ease. But he knows the contracts won't be permanent until he masters the book. While practicing, Liam sees his brother Bruno approaching. Liam is surprised because Bruno got married and left home some time ago. He asks why Bruno is here, and Bruno explains he just wanted to hang out with his brother. He also wants to congratulate Liam for becoming a baron, saying it's a huge achievement. Bruno tells Liam that now he outranks their father, which confuses Liam since their father is a count and Liam is only a baron. Bruno explains that barons are technically lower ranked than counts, but in their country, nobles are divided into two groups: those who inherit their titles and those who earn them through achievements. People who earn their titles are seen as more impressive. Liam didn't know this, but even though he outranks his father now, he doesn't really care. He's more interested in learning magic. As Liam walks to the halls, he runs into Albrecht and greets him, but Albrecht ignores him rudely. Liam is left wondering why Albrecht is so upset. Meanwhile, Albrecht is fuming with anger. He can't stand that his younger brother is somehow overshadowing him. As he walks through the palace, he overhears a couple of maids talking about Liam's recent achievements. This makes Albrecht even angrier, and he shouts at the maids, telling them that if they think Liam is so great, they should quit and work for him instead. The maids quickly realize that Albrecht is jealous of Liam, so they apologize to him. But Albrecht isn't finished yet. He asks them if they think Liam is better than him. The answer is obvious, though. One of the maids is a magic prodigy who earned a title at the age of 12, while Albrecht has never done anything impressive in his life. However, since the maids don't want to lose their jobs, they lie and tell Albrecht that he is better than Liam. Albrecht walks away, still furious, and vows to prove that he is better than his brother. He swears he will accomplish something great too. The next day, Liam meets Asuna and Jody in town. The three of them have become quite popular, mostly because Jody and Asuna are so beautiful. As a result, every guy in the crowd is glaring at Liam out of jealousy. Liam wants to officially form a party with them, but he doesn't want to force them into anything. So he asks if they're okay with the idea. Neither Asuna nor Jody has any problem with it, so they agree to form a party with him. Later that day, the three of them head out into the forest for a mission. While they're there, Jody uses her bow and arrow to strike a wolf in the neck, weakening it. Asuna quickly runs in and finishes it off with her sword. Liam compliments Asuna, telling her that she's gotten much faster since becoming a familiar. Speaking of improvements, Jody notices that her eyesight has improved and that she no longer suffers from old lady vision, since the contract made her younger. Liam asks her if it's always good to have better eyesight. Jody says she'd never say no to better vision, especially since she's an archer. Liam raises his hand and casts an enhancement spell on Jody's eyes, allowing her to see much farther than she could before. Asuna asks him what he just did, and Liam explains that he used a basic enhancement spell to improve Jody's vision. Asuna thinks it sounds amazing and asks Liam to cast the same spell on her. However, Liam doesn't think it's a good idea. He could probably enhance her combat power, but it would be risky because there's a high chance she could break her bones under the strain of the new strength. Boosting vision, on the other hand, has no real drawbacks. With her improved vision, Jody can now easily hit targets that are far away with her bow. She's really thankful to Liam for helping her. After a long day of hunting, Liam and the others return to the guild, only to find it in chaos. They ask what happened and are told that Albrecht caused a huge mess by breaking the forest seal. Liam immediately realizes that Albrecht must have tried to defeat the monster sealed in the forest out of jealousy. He feels partially responsible for this, so he quickly runs out to the forest to assess the situation. When they arrive, the scene is worse than they could have imagined. Dozens of soldiers are badly injured, and many others are already dead. Liam is horrified. He spots Albrecht lying on the ground, injured, and runs over to check on him. However, as soon as Albrecht sees Liam, he jumps up in a panic and starts yelling that he hasn't failed yet. Just then, the guild master hits Albrecht on the head with a stick, annoyed by the situation and Albrecht's frantic behavior. After Albrecht is taken away, the guild master approaches Liam and thanks him for coming. Asuna asks about what's going on, and the guild master explains that the dragon fiend Radon was once sealed in the forest by Liam's great-grandfather. Albrecht, in his jealousy, had undone the seal in a failed attempt to kill Radon, which has now set the monster loose. The guild master says they know how to reseal the beast, and that he's already gathered everyone needed to do it. But there's a problem. Radon's children, the little Radons, are causing all the damage. If the little ones can cause this much destruction, the real Radon will be even worse. Luckily, Radon has been sealed for so long that it will take about a week for him to regain his full strength and attack. If they can reseal him before then, they can prevent a disaster. Liam is determined to help, so he rushes to Radon's location. When they arrive, they find Radon being guarded by 3 little Radons. The little Radons are small, so Asuna decides to try attacking them, but as she charges in, one of the little Radons shoots a fireball at her. Although she dodges it, the tree behind her is completely destroyed. Liam tries using his magic missiles to attack, but the little Radons counter with their fireballs. Liam is unsure what to do next since his strongest attack, spell, didn't work on them. However, he still has one more trick. He orders Asuna to take Jody and run, as the little Radons charge at Liam. Before they can reach him, Liam opens another world gate and traps all 3 Radons inside. They fall into the gate and are trapped. The guild master is shocked that Liam managed to defeat all 3 little Radons on his own. Liam himself is surprised as well, since it was a very close call. Now that the little Radons can't interfere, the team can focus on resealing Radon without further obstacles. The guild master orders everyone to start sealing Radon again. While this is happening, Asuna and Jody return to Liam's side, and he's relieved to see they're okay. They ask Liam about the spell he used to defeat the little Radons. Liam explains that it's a spell that creates a separate dimension. He trapped the little Radons inside, and at his current level of mastery, when he closes the gate, everything inside disappears, so there's no risk of them escaping. Suddenly, Liam hears a voice in his head, and the next moment, he is pulled into Radon's mind. Radon calls Liam a human with an immense soul and asks him who he is. Liam doesn't understand the question, thinking he's just a normal human, but Radon isn't convinced. He can clearly see that Liam's body and soul don't match. Liam realizes that Radon might be referring to the fact that he was reincarnated into Liam Hamilton's body. He wonders if Radon knows the reason behind it, but Radon doesn't have any answers. What Radon does know is that Liam's life is going to be an interesting one. He offers to make a deal with Liam. Radon wants to accompany him through his life and promises not to harm Liam or anyone around him. He also offers to help Liam improve his skills. Since Liam doesn't sense any danger from Radon, he agrees to the deal. Suddenly, Radon's body begins to dematerialize and is absorbed into Liam's soul, leaving a dragon mark on his hand. Liam can feel Radon's power flowing through him. Curious, he decides to test his new abilities. Liam fires a magic missile into the sky, but to his surprise, he can now control and fire 17 spells at once. This must be thanks to the power Radon gave him. However, using Radon's power has some negative side effects. Everyone around Liam starts to get headaches from being exposed to such dense mana. Liam notices this and realizes his mana is the cause. He quickly suppresses it and apologizes for being thoughtless. As a gesture of goodwill, he offers a guild master 10 kilograms of gold dust to help pay for the treatment of those who were badly injured in the fight. That night, Liam meets with his father, who thanks him for preventing a great disaster caused by Albrecht's short-sightedness. His father also mentions that James is still in town, so word of Liam's accomplishment will soon reach the royal capital. That night, Liam goes to bed, but when he wakes up the next morning, he realizes that 2 new spells have appeared in his head. He rushes outside to test them. After several hours of practice, he finally manages to use one of them and summons a small radon. With a bit more practice, he hopes to master his new powers completely. Liam is playing with the little radon, which is still more like a cute pet than a combat ally for now. While he's enjoying the moment, Princess Scarlet walks up behind him and notices the magic Liam just used as holy magic. She's impressed that, at such a young age, Liam is capable of using holy magic. However, Scarlet isn't here to talk about that. She's come to reward Liam for defeating the Dragon Fiend. She wanted to grant him a higher title of nobility, but the other nobles oppose the idea of promoting a landless child too quickly. Instead, she gives him the Order of the Phoenix, 3rd class. While she's there, she asks Liam how he managed to defeat the dragon. Depending on his answer, she might declare him a national hero. When Liam reveals that he absorbed the Dragon Fiend, Scarlet is horrified. She's unsure what to think, but she still knows he used holy magic, so maybe he's not as bad as she feared. She warns him to keep that detail secret. The next day, Liam receives a chest with 3,000 gold coins as hush money. He doesn't fully understand why Scarlet wants him to stay quiet, but he decides to go along with it. Story continue. James grew suspicious about what happened and called Liam for a meeting. He asked Liam what was going on, but Liam tried to deny anything special had happened. However, the fact that the princess paid him so much hush money made James believe it was a huge secret. So he began to interrogate Liam. Eventually, Liam cracked and revealed that he could use holy magic. He demonstrated one of the spells he could cast, explaining that it allows him to get rid of all negative status effects, including petrification and poison. James was amazed but not surprised, as holy magic is considered an act of God. James then asked Liam if he knew anything about the War of the Three Dragons, but Liam didn't. James began explaining that, long ago, there was a battle between 3 great dragons. The battle ended with one dragon victorious, and it was said that this dragon's victory was due to its use of holy magic. Afterward, the dragon supposedly joined with human, and their combined magic helped to found the kingdom. When James said joined, Liam immediately thought it meant the dragon and human got married and had children. However, James clarified that wasn't the case. Instead, he said Liam was a prime example of what it meant to join with a dragon. Now that he thought about it, radon had entered Liam's body, so technically they were joined in the same way. James explained that Liam was recreating the legendary event that founded the nation, which was incredible. However, there were more important matters to discuss. The Hamilton family's noble status came from their grandfather's achievement of sealing away a dragon fiend. But it turned out that Radon wasn't a dragon fiend at all. He was the founding dragon of the nation. Liam's family had wrongfully sealed the nation's founder. If this information got out, it would likely result in the Hamilton family losing their noble status. Liam didn't want that, knowing how desperate his father and Albrecht would have maintained their status. James was even more concerned about something else. He worried that Radon might be angry about being sealed away and might be plotting revenge against the kingdom. Liam then had a conversation with Radon in his mind, and Radon assured him that he had no intention of retaliating against humans. He was only interested in watching Liam grow. James was relieved to hear this, and said it was great news. He even mentioned that Liam could be considered the savior of the kingdom for earning Radon's attention. Later, Liam arrived at the guild, but before he could enter, the girls dragged him away. Confused, Liam asked them what was going on. They explained that the guild was crowded with people trying to join a party after hearing that Liam defeated a dragon fiend. These people were begging Asuna and Jody to convince Liam to let them join his party. The two girls had written a list of all the prospective applicants, but honestly, none of the adventurers seemed impressive. Liam is the leader of his party, so the decision about who to recruit is up to him. He decides to head home to look through the list of adventurers who want to join his party. But when he walks through the door, one of the maids has something to show him. It's a pile of marriage proposals from the daughters of various noble families. They all want to become his wife. Liam had expected something like this, since he's become quite popular, but he's shocked by how many proposals there are. Even his brother, Bruno, brings him a letter, though it's not from him. It's from a relative in the family Bruno married into. Bruno asks Liam what he's done, to get so many marriage proposals. It's not normal to receive this many, even if he did defeat a dragon. Liam realizes that the only people he's told about his holy magic are Princess Scarlet and James. But because the princess gave him so much hush money, the other nobles must think there's something huge going on with him. It's a bit overwhelming, but Liam can't deny that he enjoys the attention. Later that day, Liam goes out into the forest with Jody and Asuna. He wants to show them something. He opens his pocket dimension, and when Asuna and Jody enter, they find a huge house inside. Liam explains that he had a carpenter build a house, and then moved it in using his item box. As impressive as that is, Asuna is concerned the house will disappear like the Radon Juniors did. Liam reassures her that he's fully mastered the spell, so nothing will vanish now. He gives him a tour of the house, and they both enjoy it, but Jody mentions that the house is always bright, making it hard to sleep. Liam decides to summon a shade spirit to darken the area. The spell works, but little too well. The entire place turns pitch black. Liam tries to use a fire spirit to light the place up, but it still looks more like a horror movie scene than a home. He asks the shade if it can control the level of darkness, but the shade is low level and doesn't have that ability. A mid-level shade could do it, but Liam hasn't learned the spell for that yet. Asuna wishes a low-level shade could just become a mid-level one, and that's when Liam remembers that his familiar contracts can level up creatures. He forms a contract with the shade, and it immediately levels up to mid-level. Now, the shade can control the darkness and makes the place look like it's nighttime. The shade tells Liam he can call on him anytime, but Liam isn't sure he'll be able to summon the shade again. Since he doesn't know how to use mid-level spirit magic, he's not sure how to call on the shade in the future. The shade points out that Liam is wearing a magic storage ring, so he should be able to use it to absorb and summon the shade whenever he wants. Liam hadn't thought of that, but when he tries it, the ring really does absorb the mid-level shade. He then does the same with all the other spirits, levels them up, and stores them in his ring. Now, Liam essentially has his own mid-level summoning grimoire. The next day, Liam heads out into the forest at Radon's request. When he reaches a designated spot, Radon asks him to summon one of the Radon Juniors. Liam summons it, and the Radon Junior creates an opening in a barrier, revealing dozens of pixies that have been hiding in the forest. As soon as the pixies see Liam as a human, they start fly away, trying to escape to avoid being hurt. Liam tries to calm them down by explaining that he isn't their enemy. He tells them that Radon is the one who sent him here. After hearing Radon's name, the pixies seem to trust him a little more. Pixie wings are valuable ingredients in potions, and humans almost hunted them to extinction in the past. To protect them, Radon created a barrier in the forest. But now that he's inside Liam, he can't maintain the barrier anymore, so Radon asks Liam to protect the pixies instead. Liam wants to form familiar contracts with the pixies, so he asks them if they're okay with it. The pixies trust Liam since he's working on Radon's behalf. Radon asks Liam to give them names, as naming things gives extra power to human magic. Liam forms a contract and names the first pixie Reyna. However, to his surprise, once the contract is completed, Reyna transforms from a pixie into an elf. Radon finds it interesting, but isn't shocked. Liam, on the other hand, is confused and doesn't understand how it happened. Radon explains that by forming the magic contract and naming the pixie at the same time, the magic from both actions resonated and created a stronger response than normal. This is why the pixie evolved into an elf. Radon advises that, from now on, Liam should name every familiar he forms contracts with. After seeing the effects of the contract, the other pixies are eager to form contract with Liam and ask him to name them as well. Once all the pixies have turned into elves, Reyna asks Liam for orders since they are now his familiars. Liam hadn't thought that far ahead since he only came here at Radon's request. But now that the pixies are all elves, he suggests they should start building a village for themselves. He appoints Reyna as the leader of the village since she was the first pixie he evolved, and the only one whose name he remembers right now. After the elves start building their village, Liam becomes completely exhausted. He used too much magic power while forming all the contracts. As he rests, he senses a lot of magic coming from deeper in the forest. Curious, he decides to check it out and finds a golden fruit hanging from a tree. He can feel a strong mana coming from it, so he asks Reyna about it. She explains that the pixies make these fruits by collecting mana from the air and condensing it into one place. It's basically mana honey. Liam asks if he can eat it, and Reyna has no objections. He cuts the fruit down and takes a bite. Not only does his magic power get restored, but his overall magic capacity increases as well. Now, he can cast 19 spells without chanting. The next day, Liam returns to the village to check on the progress. Reyna greets him, but she brings bad news. Even though he asks them to build a village, the elves don't know how to build houses. So the village is still very basic. Liam expected something like this. So he plans to teach them how to build homes. However, just as he's about to start his lesson, they hear an elf scream for help. Bandits have entered the forest, and when they saw an elf, they decided to kidnap her and sell her for money. Liam won't let that happen, so he demands the bandits release the elf. But the bandits ignore him and try to attack. Liam summons a clone and uses it to launch a simultaneous attack on the bandits, knocking them out. While he saves the elf, named Susie, he realizes the forest is too dangerous for the elves to live in. He decides to move them somewhere safer. Liam plans to put them in his pocket dimension for now, but he worries they might not fit, since the space isn't that big. When he checks inside, though, he sees it's much bigger than before. He guesses it's because of the pixie honey he ate yesterday. With the extra space, he tells all the pixies to come inside, and they happily follow him. A little while later, Liam opens a pocket dimension on his land, and the elves are amazed to see they're in a completely different place. Liam tells them he brought them to his land to keep them safe from danger. The elves are grateful and amazed that he was able to transport all of them with a single spell. They are so impressed that they all bow to him, asking him to become their king. They swear to do whatever he asks if he agrees to rule them. Liam feels a strong sense of responsibility to protect the elves, so he agrees to become their leader. However, he asks them not to call him a king, because he doesn't want to deal with all the politics that come with it. As their leader, he knows he needs to find a safe place for them to live. 4 days pass, and Liam spends all his time trying to find a suitable location. He's been practicing new magic nonstop, and finally he figures it out. He gathers the elves and tells them to line up. Then, he uses his new teleportation magic to transport them about 100 kilometers to a place called the Sealed Islands. This land was sealed by Radon, but Radon allowed Liam and the elves to use it. If they had traveled the normal way, it would have taken 4 days. But with his new magic, Liam can instantly teleport to any place he has visited before. He tells the elves they can live here for now, but they will still need someone to build homes for them. Liam leaves Radon's Jr. in charge of protecting the elves while he teleports back home. There, he's visited by the princess, who asks if Radon ever mentioned a place called the Promised Lands. Liam hasn't heard of it, but Radon did give him access to the Sealed Lands. The princess insists that the Promised Lands must be the same place, and she asks if Liam can take her there. Liam agrees, but only if she brings one court engineers. He has a project he needs help with, but he doesn't intend to take the actual engineer. Instead, he makes a clone of Gallic and teleports both the clone and the princess to the Sealed Lands. Upon arriving, the princess is certain that this is the Promised Lands. She tells Liam about an old legend, which says that humanity's salvation lies within these lands, and that the royal family has a special ring that can unlock its secrets. The ring begins to react to Liam, and as he touches it, a large piece of land starts to float at his command. The princess is amazed and bows down to him, asking him to form a nation in the Sealed Lands for the sake of humanity. Though Liam doesn't want to, the princess pledges her loyalty and all her resources to help make it happen.